Welcome to another D-Link video. Today we're going to be talking about networking and specifically the Aquila Pro AI range of products, which we love. Today we're joined by Alan.
As always,
and we've got Phil, our tech expert here, which is just fabulous. Over to you, Alan. What are we going to be talking about specifically today?
well, we've got some real major updates into the Aquila Pro range coming very, very soon. So we thought it was a great idea to come together and start to look at a video today.
Yeah.
What we'll start with is what we've currently got within the range, which is the M30 and the M60, which I have and Phil has in front of himself. The best thing about the M30 and the M60 is the Wi-Fi 6. Upgrading to Wi-Fi 6 will really enhance your speed of your network.
Okay, great.
Lower latency, all those sort of things.
And people aren't using Wi-Fi 6 at the moment, or they are in general?
Wi-Fi 6, I'd say, is still current generation.
Yeah.
There is Wi-Fi 6E, where more and more devices are becoming available for 6E, but we'll talk about 6E another time.
Fine, super.
Another place.
Okay, shall we focus in on the products? We talk about the M30 first, or will we talk about both?
The M30 and the M60 are similar. I'll hand over to Phil to specifically talk about the M60 in a moment.
Okay.
But if you bear with me, I was just going to move on to a couple of the features that are in both before we talk about the M60 specifically. You'll note the spherical design, which is quite unique in terms of how the M30 and the M60 throw out the signal.
Yeah.
It goes out like a sphere.
Okay.
Which is really great. We have some
as opposed to
the antennas. Each antenna would have a donut ring, basically shooting a signal off in that direction. These ones are positioned so you get this central in your home, and it's optimal because the Wi-Fi will shoot out in that sort of direction.
Okay, that sounds good.
It's great as well because extending the signal, it also works the same way with the other units. So you have an M60, you can have another M60 upstairs and have exactly the same spherical for maximum coverage. Or you can pair it up with an M30.
Right, okay.
Because the whole system works together.
As an ecosystem.
Yeah, so your main unit can be an M60, and then if the M60 is more expensive than the M30, obviously, you can have an M30 upstairs because your needs upstairs are slightly less. Smaller.
Fine, so I get that.
That's the beauty of this. You can buy them in a 2-pack, but then also if you just want an M60 and an M30, you can buy each one and have a nice...
And put them together.
Yeah, save some money that way.
Love that. Just love this design. It is so cool. I'm just going to have to talk about this really quickly.
Sure.
This is like nothing else that you're ever going to see on the market. There is nothing designed like this out there.
Well, before you go on, we've got some pretty cool designs behind us, which we're going to talk about later.
Okay, that's good. But for now, like from a lifestyle point of view, it's definitely going to fit in with the home decor better than the kind of like classic black ugly box.
Right? Which would be hidden very much. And one thing to touch on that is that these are made from recyclable materials.
Also, it's very heavy. It feels quality. It feels really good quality. It's got a weight to it. You know, it doesn't feel plastic at all. It feels really nice. Yeah.
Good build quality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Phil, tell me a little bit more about the M60. Like, what do you think is special? Why do you think it's a great router?
So the difference between the M30 and the M60 is the M30 is an AX6000 router. It provides wireless speeds of up to 3,000 megabits per second.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
M60 doubles that. Over the two bands, the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz band, it can provide a combined wireless speeds of up to 6,000.
That's
Mbps.
massive, isn't it?
So it's especially good if you have a lot of devices at home that all connects to the Wi-Fi. It will be able to give you fast speeds over multiple devices at the same time. And allow you to stream, game, and surf the internet without any delays.
And so from the perspective of who this is going to be really good for, it's good for any tech savvy person who wants to have speedy internet, but also like gamers. You know, who do you think? I mean, this is a family product. This is a gaming product.
Yeah,
well, you know, it's an all-rounder.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you have a house that are maybe over that needs coverage over multiple floors,
Yeah.
or maybe even getting Wi-Fi in the garden,
Yeah.
something like the M60 will give you that
Really?
slightly extended range, so that you don't have to worry about setting up
Outdoor access points.
or
Yeah,
even
yeah,
trying to stick
excellent.
extenders in weird
in
places.
weird
and
places,
stuff, yeah.
in the trees, in the
And
garden.
M60, you should be able to get as much coverage with even just 2 units compared to having 3 or 4.
Normal sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Okay, very good. And what's going on in the back here? Because we've got so many different ports. What is actually happening here? Can you explain?
So what we have here is basically you have the internet port that
Okay.
you would connect to your modem or your fiber unit.
They're always yellow.
They're always yellow, the
the
internet
port on
ports.
the port on your modem is yellow, and they're yellow on our product, so you can
can match
always
them up.
identify the in port by the fact that it's yellow.
Okay, good.
And then 4 LAN ports to connect to wired devices.
Right.
On these units, they are all gigabit, so
Yes.
that ensures that you have a very, very fast wired speed as well as the.
So you
the
could
wired
wire
speed.
in your laptop to that for super
Yeah.
fast, and then other things like what else would you put in?
A switch, so
switch.
that you get even more.
All right, yeah.
But what would you connect to the switch? Things like
Yes.
network attached storage. Sometimes set-up boxes that only have Ethernet connection. But
Okay.
ultimately, I think for people that really care about the very, very reliable, fast
Yeah.
connection, they do tend to utilize the.
And we always advise that you wire up as much as you can, especially those devices that mean the most to you. So, for instance, if you can wire up the main TV in your house, if you're a big Netflix watcher or a Now TV,
I need to do this in my house, I've just realised.
You really should wire up that TV. Your Sky box, your desktop PC, if you use that, as Phil mentioned, your DAS, your NAS units, get everything like that wired, because that ensures the highest amount of security, that ensures the highest amount of reliability and the lowest latency, because Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6E, Wi-Fi 7, they're all brilliant. We're going to go on and speak about them in a minute, but wired is still
I get that,
the
right?
best.
I get that. But in my head, like from a perspective of like just living in a house and not wanting wires everywhere, like
Yes, I
it's
get that.
very, very annoying. We've got this Wi-Fi, we want to use it, but actually it does make sense to have it all wired in. But that means you've got wires coming out of, one area of your house.
Yes, yeah.
And that's a pain. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
But I get it.
You do, but if your router's near to your entertainment centre, then most of those devices will be very close to each other. I'm not suggesting to
I get
run a
that.
cable all the way across, all the way across.
I get that.
But if I'm very lucky, because my signal comes in, my router sits behind my TV.
Yeah.
I can plug it in. I can plug into my desktop. I can do that.
Fine.
Not everyone can.
No.
But if you can, then
you should.
it's advisable for the best quality.
How much faster, could you know this, is it to wire it in?
It's very independent on each individual.
Okay, of
thing.
course, system,
All we can say is that wired is the best.
But just to add on to that, technology in wireless has come such a long way that you are able to get, gigabit plus speeds over the airways as such, especially when it comes to Wi-Fi 7, which we'll talk about a bit later, because the technologies that's involved in Wi-Fi 7 allows the routers to go tens of gigabits in speed.
Setting us up well for later on in the video.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about a little buzzword that everyone's going on about at the moment, which is Matter. And these two solutions here are Matter-enabled devices. And I don't know that much about it, so I'm going to ask Alan to tell us a little bit more about why Matter is going to make our life a bit more simple at home.
Thanks, Sophie. Well, Matter basically is an IoT protocol.
Right.
And we'll simplify that as we
IoT?
go. IoT stands for the Internet of Things.
Right.
But what it means to us as laymen's is that you'll be able to use it to connect your smart home devices under one umbrella. That's it in a nutshell.
Okay.
So at the moment you have an Alexa,
Yeah.
or a Google Home.
Yeah.
And then you have an app for your My D-Link, you have an app for
Yeah.
your Aquila Pro, you have
Yeah.
a Falcon app, you have all of these apps.
Yeah.
But Matter is attempting to bring all of that under one umbrella.
So how would that? So one app for all.
One app for all
Ooh.
Matter compliant products.
Oh.
Not all products will be
No, no,
Matter
no.
compliant, but all Matter compliant products will work with Matter.
So it's like an ecosystem within an ecosystem, really.
Yes. And the beauty of it is that it's being backed by the big guys, Apple, Google,
Great.
Microsoft, all of the big guys are kind of jumping on and producing
Great.
Matter products,
Great.
and so are D-Link.
Yay! This is what we like. What do you think about all this Matter stuff, Phil?
I think throughout the evolution of smart home, where a lot of different companies are building their own devices using their own app, Matter brings things together so that it's easier for consumers to make the most out of all these smart home devices and allow them to talk to each other and make make life a little bit easier, like the way that these devices are designed to do.
Yeah.
And aside from that, it also ensures that the setup at home is secure, easy to set up, and you're not having to go into the shop and have to worry about if you buy the smart, the light bulb will work with the...
Look at Zigbee versus the other standards that came out. You won't have to worry about that. That's not going to work with my other devices from now on. That's where Matter is. Really.
Okay, that's great. That's really helpful. So what are the... should we talk about these products a little bit, or are we... is there another...
Well, I was just going to mention before as well is that at the moment, a lot of people aren't delving into the world of smart home because they don't know who to choose between Google and Amazon or Apple. It's very confusing for them, and Matter's going to simplify that. So as well as making it simple for people to have one ecosystem, it's going to bring a lot of new users into the smart home space, which is going to increase the need for devices like our routers, because not only are they Matter enabled, they're also Wi-Fi 6 high capacity devices that are going to allow you to connect all of these devices in your home without any sort of network drains or any noticeable lag, and but by adding all these different devices, which could happen if you don't upgrade your router at the same time as you add all these devices to your smart home. So this is an important part of it, and it's an often neglected part is I've bought all these new devices home, but my internet's now suddenly slower. Well, it's because you bought all these new devices home
without
and
upgrading.
You didn't upgrade. So we've got two lovely devices here. I've got the MS30.
I have the MS60.
Yep, and very similar to when we talked about the M30 and the M60, they both have very similar stats. So Phil's MS60 has double the speed of the MS30 that I have in front of me.
I love them. There's like a little baby and a mummy. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, similar to the M30 and M60, the design itself is not just for aesthetics, to look good. They are antennas that are embedded within the bands in order to be positioned to provide a spherical coverage throughout your home, rather than the traditional antennas that give a more planar, which means that you're having to suffer in areas above and below where the router sits.
Yeah. Even more spherical than the M30s.
I love that.
I mean, again, it's similar to the M30 and the M60. They do come with gigabit internet ports and wired ports for.
Yeah, you've got four on each, but we'll to be confirmed as to the full specs and
I'm wondering, like, these can sit on tables. I'm just talking about this from like a positioning point of view.
Yep.
These sit on tables, right? But could they also go somewhere else? Could they also go on a wall?
Yeah, they can be wall mounted.
Oh,
so
that's
either
cool.
Wall mounted this way or this way.
Oh yeah, great. I love that. And they've got those little bits at the back there are for wall mounting, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, look. So you've got these two little holes here so you can wall mount it, which is actually quite nice, because I wouldn't necessarily put a router on the wall prior to these kind of designed routers, but actually, for fun, I probably might,
Yeah. Don't put it that way though, because then the gigabit wire is going to be stuck at the top.
So it'd be like that.
So it'd be like that.
Yeah.
That's what I would suggest.
Okay.
Because then the wire would come down rather than
I love that.
coming over the top.
Okay, great.
Just also because of the spherical coverage of design of the antenna, if you do mount it on the wall, it's not going to affect how the router will provide the coverage.
I was going to ask that because it's against the...
But before, traditionally, what you will have is then you have to fiddle around with the adjustable antennas because if the router is drawing out coverage vertically, then you'll not have a very good...
And that's why traditionally access points are better on the wall, because the antennas are internal. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
A lot of people who are very protective of their data won't have an Amazon Alexa or a Google Home in their home.
I don't have one of those, mate.
You don't have one of those. And for a lot of people, that's down to privacy concerns. The thing about Matter is that Matter doesn't store your data in the cloud. It only stores your data locally.
Right.
So those concerns that you have about, if you have the concerns about your data being shared with third parties or devices listening to you, with Matter, that's not going to be a concern, because it would all be stored locally rather than...
Is that because you're using multiple products from different providers?
Yes,
basically.
And it's powered by just one singular app.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, that's a great aspect.
What we will be talking about in a future video is Matter cameras.
Okay, wow.
Because we'll be adding some Matter cameras in at some point next year, which are going to be great, and they'll work in parallel with the Matter app, obviously, with our routers. And
we're talking about security cameras specifically.
So, right? Indoor
cameras, indoor and
outdoor home camera system.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
D-Link is all on board the Matter train, and look for more stuff to be announced from us as we move forward.
Okay, on to the next big thing for today. We're going to be talking about Wi-Fi 7. I can't even believe we're at Wi-Fi 7, because I feel like only yesterday we were at Wi-Fi 6, but it's here, isn't it?
It is here. It is. Wi-Fi 6 was first talked about before then, but primarily released around 2018, 2019. So it's actually been around for 5 years. But similarly to what's happening in the market at the moment, a lot of stuff that was produced early on for Wi-Fi 6 wouldn't be compatible with Wi-Fi 6 now.
Right.
For instance, there's Wi-Fi 7 units on the market that aren't compatible with the 6 gigahertz spectrum, which we'll talk a little bit about later on. But true Wi-Fi 7 is here now, and it's coming out to you, and prices are beginning to fall as more and more players get into the market, which includes us.
Yay, this is it. This is the future. Yeah. What do you think about Wi-Fi 7, Phil?
Wi-Fi 7, it's an incredible leap in technology and also speed over Wi-Fi. We're talking about multitudes of increase compared to the Wi-Fi 6.
Really?
And on top of this, it uses all these new technologies that we will talk about shortly that makes the network a lot more efficient, so that all your devices can connect at incredible speeds, low latencies, and still not affected by interference, which we're getting more and more because of everything is now wireless.
Okay. I mean, but do we really need these kind of speeds, and what kind of people and what devices are going to require them? Well, let's be honest. I mean,
most people will tell you that an upgrade to Wi-Fi 7 is going to improve your home network exponentially, and then you'll realize that you only have a 60 meg connection, coming to your home.
Meaning that you couldn't have a Wi-Fi 7 router or device because it wouldn't work?
You could, but the improvements in it would be minimal.
Minimal, okay.
So Wi-Fi 7 improvements are going to be so much more for the people who have gigabit speeds plus.
So you have to get the Wi-Fi 7 router if you want the devices to work with Wi-Fi 7?
Yes. Your router has to be Wi-Fi 7 in order for Wi-Fi 7 to be available, because the signal comes into the modem, then the router shoots it out across the house.
Yeah.
So if your router is Wi-Fi 6, you'll get a Wi-Fi 6 enabled signal, but your router's Wi-Fi 7.
Yeah.
So it will shoot out Wi-Fi 7.
Right.
But only devices that are compatible with Wi-Fi 7 will use Wi-Fi 7.
Like-
As Phil mentioned,
Yeah.
some more and more devices, new phones, new
Right.
laptops are coming with Wi-Fi 7 enabled, but a lot of your old devices will be on Wi-Fi 6, 6E.
But so what does that mean? So if I've got Wi-Fi 6, but I want Wi-Fi 7, all
Yes.
my devices are Wi-Fi 6, can I still benefit from that speed if I have a Wi-Fi 7 router? Will it still up? It won't. So you have to have all your devices
Yes.
compatible with Wi-Fi 7 plus a Wi-Fi router
Yes, yes.
that's got 7.
Hence,
Right.
my little speech at the start where I talked about Wi-Fi 7 being around for probably over a year now, Phil. We've seen the first device.
Original one is, yeah.
Okay.
But devices aren't compatible with it. So
No,
people
okay.
are running out, early adopters are running out and upgrading, and the devices aren't compatible.
Right.
You have to have
Note to
compatible
self.
devices with Wi-Fi 7 to be able to use it, and you do need a decent speed coming into your home to get the best out of it.
Okay.
We don't want to over-prescribe to our consumers and tell them that if they've got a slow internet connection, that Wi-Fi 7 is going to massively improve things for you. It will improve things for you if you have a fast connection. Things like 8K streaming are becoming more and more available. You're going to see it more and more over the next year or so. Devices are coming out now that are more compatible with Wi-Fi 7. Hence, D-Link is now comfortable to come into the market and talk about our 2 models that we're going to have.
This is this amazing Wi-Fi 7 solution here, Phil. Tell me a little bit more about what this does and why it's amazing.
So this is our new M95 BE9500 Wi-Fi 7 router.
Okay.
It's a tri-band router that offers connectivity over not just the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz that was already available on Wi-Fi 6, but also the 6 gigahertz band.
Right.
Over these 3 bands, it offers incredible combined speeds of 9400 megabit per second.
Wow.
The highest on the 6
Wow.
gigahertz band. And on the 6 gigahertz band, it offers speeds of 5800
No.
Mbps.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
so quick, isn't it?
It's done
It's-
through. Wi-Fi 7 is able to do this through the various technologies that are now available on top of 6, which Alan will talk about.
Yay! Alan, tell us about that differentiating between 6 and 7 then.
Well, there's a number of features that Wi-Fi 7 introduces that we're going to go through. Now, bear with us because the names and the words
Acronyms.
are
Complex.
they're complex, but we'll try to explain them in as plain English as we can, as we always do. So 2.45, and then we've got the 6 gigahertz spectrum. Now, the 6 gigahertz spectrum was bought in on 6E, Wi-Fi
Right.
6E.
Okay.
Originally. But what Wi-Fi 7 does is it's basically doubled the channel width.
Right.
So on Wi-Fi 6E, we had speeds of up to 160 megahertz, which was a breakthrough on 6E
Yeah.
and an upgrade from 6.
Yeah.
Now we've got 320
That's
megahertz
nuts.
available. So double the channel width gives us so much more that we can transmit data-wise at any one time.
Yeah.
It's a real breakthrough. And then what this has as well, Phil touched on the 6 gigahertz speed of 5,800, which is amazing. We have multi-link operation,
Right.
which allows you to combine 2 channels at the same time.
So
2 or
you could-
3.
3?
2 or 3.
Wow,
Wow.
that's crazy.
That's really
So
cool.
you can
Explain
have
that
it-
simply then.
Well, I
What
can't
does that
because I'm
mean?
looking at Phil.
What does that
I've got
exactly
my device.
mean?
I can connect to all 3 bands concurrently.
You can. So before,
Right.
before with 6, the industry used to refer to the top line speed as combined Wi-Fi speeds.
Yes.
These speeds tend to be, if you have different devices connected to the 2.4 or 5 gigahertz, you can't connect to both bands at the same time.
Okay.
But
Yes.
on Wi-Fi 7, this new technology, multi-link operation, allows a single device to connect to the router over 2 or 3 bands concurrently.
Which means
that will
and that's
be
what
able
makes
to-
it faster.
That
Right.
will be able to allow your device to aggregate all three,
Well,
all
it's-
two or
it's
three
even-
bands at
Basically,
the
it's
same time.
just that's what makes it speedy.
It's even better than being faster because the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum has much more coverage.
So it's actually quality
Yeah, because
of coverage.
when you're talking about the 2.4 gigahertz, you connect things that use less bandwidth to it.
Right.
But the signal would go further, so it would
Yeah.
cover the devices. Like your, let's say for instance, you've got a router and you've got a Google Home device in your bedroom.
Yeah.
You would connect that to the 2.4 because 2.4 has the biggest distance.
I see,
So now
okay.
with Wi-Fi 6, you get all of those three melded together with one connection. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I'm impressed.
I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
No, I think on top of the multi-link operation, the other technologies that come with 7, such as multi-RU resource units,
Yep.
which Alan touched upon the
Channel width,
the
yeah.
320 megahertz channel width, because these channel width can be chopped up into smallest chunks of 20 megahertz.
Right.
All these channel width in the past, devices could only use a particular 20, 40, 80 or 160.
Yeah.
With multi-RU, a single device can access multiple chunks of this at the same time.
What would be the benefit of that, though?
It does mean that when the device is only connected to the 20 megahertz,
Yeah.
it's not restricted to only the speed of a single 20 megahertz channel.
Right.
It does mean that there's more, not just higher
It's
speed.
a bit like a mini accessing the fast lane on the motorway.
Just
Perfect explanation. So yeah, that's perfect. So many things describe multi-RU as a motorway. Yeah,
Oh,
they
really?
do. It's, yeah.
So
Yeah.
not only does it mean you will get faster speeds, it also means that your connection will be more reliable.
Okay.
Should there be anything
Stronger then.
anything that might happen in terms of interference, and this also ties in with there's some preamble puncturing, whereby in the past, this is again slightly try to wrap your head around.
Come on.
In the past, with the 100, with the Wi-Fi 6 or 160 megahertz channel width, if you have interference in any section of that channel,
Yeah.
then the router would then drop back to 80, 40, or 20,
Yeah.
and only that 20 wouldn't become available
Right.
if certain frequencies
Right.
are interfered.
Yeah.
What Wi-Fi 7 brings is that out of the 320 megahertz, if a particular section of that channel width it's been interfered by something that's broadcasting, it will just skip it and continue to utilize the remainder of that 320 megahertz bandwidth.
Yeah. But
to
it won't. But it won't drop out. It will just it will
What it
just
will
find a
do
better
is-
route almost.
what it will do is allow you to make full use of the channel width,
Yeah.
even if there
Even
is
if there's a
interference
problem.
in between.
Yeah.
And multi-RU allows devices to not only for the router to utilize the whole bandwidth, but for connected devices to combine what's available.
Yeah.
That's not been interfered.
Yeah.
To
That's
continue
clever.
to give you that
To
fast
continue, like, seamless.
and reliable connection.
Yeah, yes,
I-
that's cool.
I would use the analogy for preamble puncturing is like skipping the title sequences on your favourite TV show.
Okay, cool. I love that.
And
Going straight to the
essence,
plot.
you just get straight in, and that's what preamble puncturing.
Yeah.
It's basically how it's named and what it does, and the end result is you get more efficient data and more efficient data transfer, and that's what we're saying about the whole thing about Wi-Fi 7 is that it's just everything on Wi-Fi 7 is just better than Wi-Fi 6, which is why
Great.
it's such a giant leap
Forwards,
from
yeah.
Wi-Fi 6 as opposed to a revolution, which was 6E, which
Yeah.
is why D-Link hasn't done much in the 6E sort of
Space.
area.
Yeah.
We've basically
Just gonna jump
mainly
forward.
going for Wi-Fi 7 in the home marketplace.
I'm really excited about it.
So to complement the Wi-Fi speeds of these Wi-Fi 7 devices, which with combined speeds of 9.4 gig, our Wi-Fi 7 routers will come with 2.5 gigabit LAN and WAN ports in order for you to maximize either your internet or the LAN devices that you're connected to it, so that there's no bottlenecks between your wired and your wireless connection.
Okay, that's a great feature.
The only thing to add to that is that in a standard laptop, your ports will be 1 gigabit.
Okay.
So you would need a 1 gigabit to 2.5 gigabit USB connector on sale from D-Link. To upgrade your laptop to be able to take advantage of 2.5 gigabit speeds.
Amazing. So, okay, that sounds great. And
just come to us, we've got everything.
We've got it all. And also, I would just like to ask, when are these products available to buy?
Well, let's go back to the very start. The M30 and the M60. The M30 is available now, and the M60 will be available in the next month or so.
Yay!
Available from all good retailers and Amazon, as usual, as you would expect.
Great.
The Matter-enabled routers are currently being tested as we speak.
Great. Good news.
We're looking through to releasing them probably in and around Q1 next year.
Fantastic. What kind of month are we talking about then?
Well, I wouldn't want to commit to a month, but I would suggest that we would be talking about March.
Yeah,
April,
springtime.
Sort of time.
Fab.
We're really hoping for Q1. The MS30 and the MS60
exciting.
might come at slightly different times, like the M30 and the M60 have.
Great.
And then the big guy that we're all waiting for, the M95 and the M36, we're still sort of waiting for firm dates around those.
Yeah.
We're expecting to see them probably in Q2 2025.
Great. How exciting. I mean, that's good because, ultimately people can go away and do a bit of